Today we are going live on YouTube. It's Hucola webinar, and you can find us on hucola.org, and then you here. Yep, on hucola.org. Join us. Right there, I posted a web link, so you can join as you watch, and we will discuss starseeds, alien hybrids, DNA, and telepathy and autism. So that all comes together: starseeds, autism, telepathy, DNA. All right, and I have Andrew with the announcements from Hucola Human Colony.
Hi, good morning, everybody. We have a galactic energy healing student course scheduled for, I believe it's 2 weeks. It is Saturday, May 10th, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you are interested in learning galactic energy healing, you can send an email to classes@hukalo.org. I will get information on how to register for that if you are interested in, excuse me, becoming a galactic energy healer. The cost is $150, and it is a wonderful experience to learn to help heal not only people but the world. Classes@hukalo.org. I will get information out to you on how to register for that class.
Just tell a little bit about Jim and Hucola.
Jim and Hukalo. Do you want me to explain a little bit about Jim and Hukalo?
Yeah, because I will post it in some other places. So just to introduce the idea.
Of the Galactic Energy Healing class?
No. In general, what's the community?
The Galactic, well, okay. So the Hukalo community is a community based of people that have connections to those outside of this planet, also to angels, guides. This community allows you to have communications with that which you may not actually have just in general with your own daily life. We are a community based on collaboration, healing, communication, expanding the consciousness, expanding understandings of that which we normally wouldn't have living in this existence right now. Jim is
Great,
our,
thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
we started
go ahead.
12 years ago,
It is
and
2014, wasn't it?
it was in October 2013 as we
13.
came
Yes, that
out
is
live
correct.
on YouTube.
Yes,
At
that
that
is,
time, they had a different system, so but
yes,
we were live, and since then, we pretty much every Saturday
yes,
we are live,
yes.
and we also had like in-person physical workshops and stuff.
Yes, we have
So
our communities, yes, that we have come together where we have the ability to be a community together in person. Yes.
right, okay. We'll start with the blessings. The intention is to connect the ideas of DNA, autism, telepathy, star seeds, and alien hybrids. How about Andrew go first?
Un guru satura she en un guru she. Bu hunu she tu unu jado nu makara. Ena intku ushi I te ki mo utura sa akana ichera. Bera undu su a shana ukadara. Mira atutushura piano unkurara isha. Namaste. You're muted.
Temple, would you like to go?
Sure. Niskriata ka uk ene esriata la shatiata. Vukutotik e uk aie te feshut uk anihet. Bahalak e uk evuk ushknik et ewa ama. Be wa a ies emuk elek e ushit a iuma ayete. Balaki Oshana, Kiashkutua, Nalik Ishkanya. Namaste.
I will get the impression. Do you have the translation?
I can see if I can get a translation, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
What a fortuitous gathering today, for in combining these elements, you move the energies more towards the understanding and awareness of what enlightenment and higher functioning DNA modalities within the body are capable of. For everyone is capable of many gifts, and we gather together today to help understanding of where the collective is headed and what possibilities are out there. Many blessings, and we are here giving light, love, and grace. Namaste.
Thank you. All right. I will not translate because my translation will be the whole lecture. So today I'm speaking about autists. All other topics we already discussed, but the autistic topic is not strongly pronounced until now, and now it's huge. So I will just go with the presentation. I did present it in couple of forms previously, but it was a different type of audience. They are coming from a very different perspective. So now I'm doing the same presentation, but from coming from channeling to understanding DNA and structures. And clearly there is a bridge, and it's surprisingly so many things come together and just start making sense in a new way. Autism, Starseeds, telepathy, DNA, and the alien hybridization program. So I will share my screen. Please interrupt, please share your experiences, because that helps. All right. Can you see it now? And I will see if I can draw. So Starseeds, DNA and telepathy, and autism will be very important. So you can find us on ecology.org, and right there I posted the link for Zoom. So anybody who is watching, please come right here and just click and come in. And that's how you can contact me, and there are contacts on Hucolo, and DNA resonance is also available. There is on DNA resonance, there is a lot of, all the publications in full text are there. Okay, so telepathy. like you know what telepathy is, and I, for the general public, I have to explain that it is mind to mind without using the smartphone or any other way, or speaking, or just no gesture, and you just kind of go through hyperspace, through other dimension. You merge your mind with another one, trans-dimensionally, space and time, through space and time, through, how do you call it? Non-locality. In quantum physics, it's called non-locality, meaning no non-local, not space, not here, not there, nowhere. Okay, now channeling and telepathy is the same thing, but channeling is usually you connect your mind or allow somebody else's mind to come through you, and in channeling that somebody else's mind goes right. Okay, so I will draw here again. Let me see if I can draw some, like, I will draw just an entity, and it comes right into you, into the heart, and speaks through you right there. So a channeler. In telepathy, it's you speaking to someone else, and in mediumship, it is that is not there. Basically, you talking to them, they're still here. So you, how do you remove that? You are you. You are you. Alien is alien, and you speak to them, but by not allowing them to enter. You just kind of talk to them mentally, and then you translate it through your mouth to people, and they ask questions. So that's mediumship. In channeling, it comes in, and in telepathy, there is pretty much very little alien. It's just you speaking to someone else. Clear, I guess. Any questions so far? Any comments so far? Okay, next slide. Mind reading, related phenomenon: mind reading, remote viewing, seeing the future, telekinesis, mediumship, channeling, psychic healing, and others. Telepathy. Why do I focus on telepathy? First, mind reading prevents deception, and that is huge for society. Essentially, all the whole society, I would say draconian structure or Anunnaki structure, or just modern world, is built on lies, on a lot of lies. Money is deception, trade is deception, all financial system is built on secrets, all political system is built on secrets. If you remove secrets, things will fall apart, right? But truth will come out, and with truth there will be a new path. So truth opens a new path for society. The second thing is super interesting. Telepathy is easier for kind people. Much easier, like 100% telepathy versus 1% telepathy. It's, to be a talented telepath, you have to be in line with the flow of life, with Tao, with energies, with God, with everything. If you are whole, holistic, integrated, then telepathy goes easy. If you're broken, like most of the modern people, then telepathy is pretty much noisier for you. Like, there is a lot of errors. So most of the errors in telepathy come from being fragmented by trauma and education. Education is some sort of trauma too. So, and the third thing, I didn't post it, but it's very important. Aliens are telepathic, and as Bashar says, most of the civilizations went from non-telepathic to telepathic, and that made them to ascend from 3D to 4D, or whatever number you want. But basically, that's a necessary step. Telepathy is the tool to connect together and transcend from this lower vibration, harder, tougher vibration to a lighter one. And the way ascension works is lots of theories about it, lots of messages. Some people visited Dean, forgot the last name. Oh no, it's the last name, Dean. Someone, Bob Dean, I think, visited the alien world, and he said he couldn't tell the difference. But he was in a city, and it was telepathic. Essentially, there are alien worlds which are pretty much like ours, with people walking on streets and houses, but people are telepathic, so you don't necessarily have to break everything. It's possible to be in our world just telepathic and be higher dimensional. So that's I think the main path forward, and that's where the main drama is, whether humanity goes into a telepathic path or not. And there is a lot of forces that try to deviate it from that ascension thing. And we are kind of playing with the ascension idea for at least 2,000 years, but more like 3,000 years. And there were waves of higher dimensional energy which nearly brought us there, but then we kind of were dragged back by external influences, but seduction. So people make a choice. It's all about personal choices. I will talk more about that, but I think for now I think it's a great place. So autists are highly telepathic, especially their non-speaking autists. They were called non-verbal, but then when they start typing, they become verbal but still non-speaking. So typers, called spellers, but basically typers, the one who type on iPad or other keyboards, they type, so they're verbal, they can type, but they don't speak. Like Mahatma Gandhi, he had on Mondays, he would write, but he wouldn't speak, and now I understand why. Basically, when you activate your speech center, you deactivate your telepathy. So talented channelers, they have to switch back and forth. Speech, no speech, speech, no speech. But basically, speech center kind of moves it from one half of the brain to another, and you speak with voice cords, but then your telepathy becomes lower. So an easier way in meditation, I clearly feel it. I kind of go in a state where I'm non-speaking, and if somebody speaks to me, I gesticulate, I say, and then I come out of that and say, please don't disturb me. I really want to be silent. So silent meditation is super cool. I have to switch from that to that. Anyway, so telepaths, autists. So autists, non-speaking, are pretty dysfunctional in terms of physicality. They are non-physical. They are really cannot take care of themselves, which is super weird. But that seems like not necessarily the path forward. There is a new generation coming, which will be both, I think. I'm pretty sure will be the next generation coming, which are highly telepathic and still are physically great, talented, can do anything. They will be as good in physical activity, cook, garden and stuff, but they would be able to telepathically connect. Right now, my estimates are every 30th person is officially diagnosed autist in California, and in Silicon Valley it's every 20th, not person, child of up to 10 years old, so it's new generation, every 20th, so huge number of autists. And that number doubles every 10 years. And out of them, I would say, if conservatively saying 1 of 10 autists are non-speaking, then it would be 1 in 300. Now we divide 8 billion people by 300, I think we get about 10 million non-speaking autists, and pretty much all of them, we are told, are telepathic. So we get about 10 million telepaths in addition to dolphins on the planet, and human telepaths. And they are not only telepathic one-to-one, highly efficient, but they also, I will skip to this. They also, I think it's there. Diane Hennessy Powell is discovered, at least discovered or rediscovered that, and they connected into the telepathic network. Let me go find that idea. Here, global telepathic network. They're connected to global telepathic network. They collect, not all 10 million, but they come into rooms, virtual clubs where they are talking to each other. It could be 2 of them, could be 10 of them, maybe more than 10, but small groups. So they are like, it's called the hill. So they come into the hill, like a tribe to have a gathering. They come to the hill and meet on the hill. And the movie, see that very nicely. It's called Belvert. Green Beautiful in French. I don't know how you pronounce it in French, but it's spelled La Belvert. Check it out. It's super cool. You can see that hill. So, and that hill resembles to those guys from Huckel, resembles our human colonies. Essentially, in human colonies, we come together virtually and connect there. And telepaths do the same. They have their own hills. They are guarded. You can get there only if you are of right vibration, if you are kind. But then imagine 10 million people on the planet already having a telepathic network and holding a vibration now. So dolphins were here doing that, and now humans are kind of come together. So that's huge. Now let's go back a little bit, just flip through the slides. So Carl Jung was much aware of telepathy, and he said in 1933 letter to the friend or colleague, the existence of telepathy in time and space is still denied only by positive ignoramuses, meaning that 90 years ago it was already clear that telepathy is very real, especially dream telepathy. So experiments were done by Diane Powell, Dean Radin, and Rupert Sheldrake, and I watched a beautiful video of Rupert Sheldrake's video with a telepathic parrot, a bird parrot with his owner, and the telepathy was super strong, super nice, super clear. Like they were separated into different floors of the building, and the video cameras were facing both of them, and the human owner was presented with pictures, and the parrot commented on the pictures which he saw only telepathically, which was super cool. Okay, dream telepathy. Essentially, the experience on dream telepathy is when one person is asleep, another is awake. They're separated in a different faraway rooms, and the awake person sends specific messages which are given to the awake person by controlled computer or something, or just pre-packaged envelopes. So he sends the messages, and then the sleeping person is forcefully awoken and asked what was the dream about, and first seconds after the dream, if you awakened, you remember. So the hit rate was very high, and that's published. So that's a huge event. Are you guys aware? So telepathy tapes are available for free on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere else. This is an audio podcasts, about now 18 episodes. They come every other Sunday now. 18 episodes, maybe 17 episodes, each of them half an hour. It made huge difference on the planet. There is a lot of people who are awakened to the idea of telepathy and autism, like special gifts of autism. All right, and Kai Dickens is super cool because she has a talent which nobody has, to talk about stuff in such a way that people accept it. She found a way to tell the world about telepathy and autism, so now it became pretty much okay, normalized. I invite comments, questions so far. Angela and Temple.
I'm not sure if you are going to touch upon, excuse me, like empaths and people who are very empathic that can feel the energies and have an understanding of what, because being an empath is also having the ability to understand what someone is experiencing, because that's also a form of telepathy. And so I'm not sure if you have touched on it, that at all. Have you spoken about that at all?
Right.
It's just a different way of being able to understand how you can have an idea of what someone is thinking and feeling. And I do have to admit that I have been in the educational system for 30 years now. And it's been only within the last 5 years, has nonverbals come into the educational system. I was very interested in understanding that. So the understanding and the theory on that is they are coming in greater nonverbals. You never really heard too much about nonverbals, but yet they have the ability to communicate. I just find that very interesting. Even within the last, I say 3 to 5 years, our nonverbals have actually come into the education system. So I find that interesting.
Right. Okay, great topics. One is empathy, telepathy. Bashar says telepathy.
Yes.
And another one, nonverbals coming out. And let's start from hucula ground. Basically, we know about alien hybridization a lot. So aliens come here and hybridize. They did it millions of years ago. They continued it thousands of years ago. And humanity is a hybrid between Earth ancestors, Neanderthals a little bit, and aliens, alien humanoids. So we have about 22 races that contributed. And somehow we lost that telepathic ability, although alien ancestors had these telepathic abilities, and Aboriginal tribes also have telepathy. Like when hunters, a group of hunters leaves the village and goes for several days, they have a telepathic contact, and if they need to return, they know, and they're like telepathically, they know it's time to return if something happens, so they come back. So they have like telepathic updates, essential telepathic updates, and it's just natural for humans to be telepaths. So it's natural for humans to be empaths as well, and it is few factors are breaking this empathy. One of them is education and upbringing. So classical modern upbringing breaks empathy and blocks the heart. I clearly see how it's done. It is through deception and aggression from the parents to the kids. It's physical punishment, emotional punishment, mental punishment. It's through breaking the trust, and trust, when you break the trust, your heart is closed. So later in the talk, I will talk about the role of DNA in that. So essentially that happens on the DNA folding level. And then unwinding DNA, making it open again, unbreaking untraumatizing, healing the trauma in the brain, especially neurons in DNA of neurons, awakens empathy. And once you awaken it, then you have to learn how to live with it, reestablish a filter so you can be empathic and still survive in a hostile environment of suffering around. The autists and non-verbal autists, non-speaking autists, have been around forever, and some of them are mentioned in scriptures, like they were called saints. Francis of Assisi is one of them. He was special. He was connecting to birds and people. He would had this talent of being connected. And non-verbal autists, like they were called blessed in many cultures, and people worshipped them, and they had healing powers and stuff like that. So Einstein's child was an autist, for clearly one of the children. So it was around, but recently there was an increase of alien hybridization. I don't know why I have still Kai Dickens on the screen. Oh, you don't have it. On my screen there is still Kai Dickens. So there was increase in hybridization. So in the last 70 years, aliens did tons more hybridization. There was a huge hybridization program all around the planet, but especially in English-speaking countries. And that created tons more autists, and that's what we see. They are just become more frequent, lots more, and that number grows faster and faster. So if the aliens hybridize and change the genes, there is more telepathy in humans and less ability to live the old way. So basically we are forced genetically to become upgraded to the next level. And the modern system is, on one hand, acknowledges that. On the other hand, they use lots of educational and medical tools to block telepathy in them and to cure them, to make them normal. And there is a lot of borderline autists who are verbal and talented and who are housebroken into being normal and forget telepathy and special talents. So empathy doesn't require you to speak. Empathy is easier to discover in yourself, and that is just one of the ways to rediscover telepathy in yourself. Temple, go ahead.
So I thought maybe I would just share a little bit about my story because it kind of
Go ahead.
follows this. And I think I'm only really starting to understand and put things together now, because it's more prevalent now and people are talking about it. Whereas when I was little, when I was growing up, it wasn't something that was even really thought about. And because my background is so different from general human backgrounds, that I don't have a lot of information on my childhood. So I guess I'm classified as a human alien, which just means that I have a lot more alien DNA than the normal humans here. And in fact, I was adopted. So there's this crazy story about being born on a ship and like them putting me in the adoption agency. And regardless of that, I don't have much information on my childhood. But I was never tested for any of the neurodivergent spectrum because it wasn't a thing back then. I was always very different. And I was always very talented in anything. It wouldn't take me very long to learn it. Incredible amounts of empathy. In fact, when I was little, I was told that I couldn't do certain things because I was quote unquote too emotional. um, and as I grew up, I just learned to mask as much as I could. And for a while it worked because I was interacting within the population. So it was very easy to mimic and learn like how to mimic to make it seem like I'm a normal person and able to interact and think and speak in the ways that I'm supposed to. But as I have grown older, I have sort of dropped all of those masks, and the idea that um, I am now who I always was, but don't have to worry about the way people are looking at me or assuming me a way to be. I have always been connected more so to my teams, my ET families, using telepathy even before I knew what it was as a child, speaking these galactic languages until you realize that that's not the normal human way. So then you quit and you just forget about all that until later in life. When you start searching for why you don't fit in, then you become reconnected. And so as I've becoming reconnected, I have been um, increasingly, my autistic traits have just blossomed. And it's extremely hard for me now to want to go into the public or want to interact with the public, just because when I'm out there, I'm processing so much information that not only is it overwhelming, but it's also draining. Even when you learn to put up, your mirrors and things, it's absolutely draining. But that most human people that I come in contact with they're saying one thing, but they're thinking something else. And so to have to know how you should react in that situation, do you just react to what they're saying? Do you react to what you're getting from them, either from just the energy coming off of them, or that they had their mind open and you just accidentally tapped into it, is a big question. Like, so I have found now that I do better just in my own little world here, where I can just speak to my teams, telepathically communicate with my ET people and my guides and my best friend who crossed and my grandma who crossed, and I can just communicate with those people versus going outside into the human world. And it poses a problem because I'm not great at taking care of, not that I couldn't take care of myself, don't get me wrong, I'm capable of doing it, but like, you forget to eat because it's not in your it's not in your brain to eat. Certain human things that like you do daily, just it doesn't compute that way. And so thank goodness I have a wonderful partner who like helps take care of me. And but it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. And I asked, because I've never been tested. I've never been tested for somehow throughout my life. I've never been tested, but I did ask one of my friends who is a channeler Like, what is going on with me? It seems like just because I don't go out into public very much anymore, that my autistic traits are just off the scale. And the answer that came back from my team, which I thought was very interesting, was that the more that I seclude myself and the more recluse I become, the more I'm constantly relying on telepathic and energetic communication, and I'm not using my human skills. And so it seems like my autisticness is growing, but it's a change in, they didn't say it was a change in my DNA, although I'm sure that that's happening as well. But that that's what happens. So I'm thinking that as more people go inward and start looking at themselves and start becoming recluses as they're trying to figure this all out, their autism with the DNA change might come out more so. It's just a thought that I've had, but yeah. So that's a little bit about my story.
So cool. I basically you're still working with are you still working in the materialistic mindset? Although you are telepathic, are you still believing that you are you and the material world is material?
I believe that I am just a portion of a experience that I'm having right now. Like, so this all may seem very material, but it's just all energy anyway. So I try to do the best that I can do, because I run a business. I run my own business. So
Let's advertise your business. Do sell online anything?
Oh, for my business? Yes. So we are the only historical apothecary in the entire world, which means that we bring back lost recipes, forgotten recipes, for not only beauty products, but medicinal products. And then we reteach the people how to use them. And so it's a very interesting business, but it's still a business. So even though I started it to help people them remember lost memories, activate their DNA that needs to get activated through these products, at the beginning of the day, I'm still here at the computer having to do 3D human work. And with the autism, it can be just be very overwhelming. Like right now, I'm in a period of overstimulation from the 3D
Yes, yeah.
world, and so I call these my Palladian bumps, but really it's just like when I'm extremely stressed, I get bumps back here in 2 rows that like follow me down, and then the hearing becomes terrible where I have to wear these earplugs because it's just too much for my brain. It's just there's a lot of complications, but I try to balance the best that I can. It doesn't always work because this world is not yet built for those who have telepathic abilities and are on the spectrum, whether it's autism or some sort of neurodivergency. Like I think Angela deals with this in her classes, so she understands this. Like it's not meant for us, and so thank goodness I was able to sort of carve out a niche that is not only like a unique business, but a passion for helping and healing that I can run my own way. Because I would never be able to, if I had to hold a human job, I don't know. We're not going to even think about that because that's not in my energy spectrum. So I have my job, and that's why I have my job, because I needed to do something to make a difference and make a human living with the type of person that I am. So
Sounds great.
yeah.
So my worldview flipped into the strong understanding that everything is an illusion,
Yep.
and it is some sort of a simulation,
Yep.
and that we influence, we don't create everything from inside out, but we influence strongly the events from outside. The outside events influenced strongly by our choices inside. So magically, like the state of health strongly affects what events happen outside. It's not the other way around. It just if you want something to happen, you have to do some yoga exercises to make it happen.
And
So that is
I think that's why those who have these abilities, these telepathic abilities, these neurodivergent gifts, are, once they understand how to function in the human society, that they're able to make their world what they need their world to be. Those who understand the idea of how the world actually works, like how the energy works with the DNA, that to pull things to you that you want, to create things that you want and put it out there. And then that affects other people in their energy, and then they get to choose, and then so slowly it's changing, but it takes time.
right. Once you realize that you affect your reality, you affect circumstances outside through your body and through your mind magically, then you work on creating a positive reality inside first, which is super interesting. That is held by draconian energies. Dragons are super interesting and super talented in creating their own bubble of reality. And it's well known, like how Steve Jobs created his own bubble of reality and then affected everyone else. He would just, it didn't always work, but often it did. You just sort of have willpower, and on a higher level you connect with proper energies and you realize your mission, and then your mission sort of gives you luck. But all all that said, there is no predetermined path. We are in a game where failure is permitted and success is permitted. It's pretty much very very few rules around here. So it's you know it's hard to give advice, but I sort of myself I practice giving up all the time. I just giving up and relying on whoever script writers outside of my physical body taking care of things and listening to advice. Like very frequently, like my spirit guides, they don't have a good imagination in many cases. Their favorite way of stopping me is just breaking my electronics, and I'm complaining to them that I like electronics to work, but I still get the message. So if something breaks, I understand they want me to stop and on certain paths. And I often am surprised because, from my perspective, I'm doing a good thing with a good, and I feel good about doing it. And when they break something positive, I'm somewhat disappointed. But I take the message.
Yeah, I think that's part of the balance, because like even with me too, there's like, if once we become all telepathic, it will be a different world. But like right now we're in this world, so um like I don't think it's in my best interest to be secluding myself away, just because it's easier for me to do that versus like forcing myself to go out in the public and learn to interact again with people, because we're here now in this 3D material world. Like, you have to make the best of it, and you don't want to just pretend that like these things don't exist around you. You have to, you know, interact with them, because then also interacting with them on whatever level you're at is also like dropping those seeds of change and uniqueness too. So I think this is balancing act, and I don't know if I'm very good at it myself. Like I'll be typing away doing my work things, and then if my upstairs people have something to say, they will just black my screen out, and I'll be in the middle of an email, or they'll just stop everything, and it won't work. Nothing will work. None of my electronics will work until I go over and like either hear the message or automatic write the message as to what's going on. So I'd like to say it's easy to be in all these different worlds, but it's not. It's not easy to be in all these different worlds. And I wouldn't give up my abilities of telepathy, um, you know, channeling, automatic writing, all of those things. I wouldn't give them up. But it's still a struggle sometimes in this current in this current world that we 3D material world that we have. So
Right. I don't have advice. I think all parts of the choices, like all the choices, like extreme extortion going to the people, to the humans, and going away from humans, all of them have merit. And on going to the humans, like normal people, neurotypical, I was listening to some memoirs, how do you pronounce it? Memoirs by the daughter of Leo Tolstoy, and Leo Tolstoy was the favorite teacher of Mahatma Gandhi, so one of the great enlightened people of over 100 years ago. And she said that the best thing Leo Tolstoy taught his daughter was loving people. And for me, it was super weird. I'm now practicing loving normal people, neurotypicals, and I would love them theoretically, but loving them for real is hard. It's like they do everything to prevent me from loving. They resist. So, but loving and liking them is super cool, especially if you think that some of them might be hidden angels and other versions of you, or other versions of the universal consciousness. So there is no good solution, but I found a yoga studio where they kind of intentionally squeeze us together in a small room, and everybody breathes the same air. Lots of neurotypicals breathe the same air, and it's hot and it's stressful. I mean, not stressful, but it's hard work. And they make you work, and even if you're slack, you still breathe the same air and weigh the energies of hard physical work and yoga. And surprisingly, it's super therapeutic. I hate it, but it works. So that's my way to bathe in neurotypical energies. I take it several times a day or a week, and sometimes do even twice a day. If I feel bad, I go there, and something heals there. I don't know what it is, but lots of other ways. And one of the ways I learned is to turn off my mind. It's hard to accept it, but basically think about nothing and doing nothing, and just kind of sort of meditate on doing nothing. It's like it works. I don't know. I know have a theory how it works, but it just works. This Buddhist idea of nothingness is actually working. And the other way, like going to telepathic connection with autists, is super cool. So they form telepathic network here physically on the planet, and basically it's our people already coming. They already came out of the hiding with the telepathy tapes of Kai Dickens, and now that autistic awakening of I would say, borderline people of the hybrids. We are just coming out, and finally I found my people. I mean, I thought I found my people when I was at Hucolo, but then that's another finding. So these are hybrids coming together and claiming what? Claiming the planet, I guess. And there is a nice book. I don't have it on the screen. Actually, I could bring it, but I will start bringing it on the screen. So essentially what it says is that humanity is haven't always been like a modern world. It had it's hard to do it. I will do it later. Basically, I'll better speak. So essentially the book is by two anthropologists, both called David, saying that archaeological research and research of Aboriginal people shows that there is a second path for humanity. You don't have to be always hierarchical and aggressive, I guess, competitive, hierarchical and competitive. There is a second path which was coexisting with the modern path, which was loving, egalitarian, meaning everybody is equal, and particularly non-aggressive. So the society was particularly training people to become tribal and non-heroic. Basically, heroes were not welcome. Ego was repressed, so it was non-egotistic tribes. And especially their leaders were trained to be servants of the people and not have any heroic properties. So it's anti-hierarchical, anti-heroic, anti-warrior type. They still had warriors to protect themselves, but basically all over the planet they discovered those traces of those tribes, and the signature archaeological finding was those figurines of a woman with big butt and big breasts, symbolizing the nature. So they basically worship nature as a universal mother. So they're saying that it didn't go anywhere. We still have that path open to us, and that seems to be like the path we have an option to take. Politically, socially, I think what will happen is that this society layer of autistic telepaths will just grow because there is more and more genetic transformation, and it looks like they don't even want to take over the economy. They just exist separately. They don't even fight for survival because society somehow takes care of them, and they carry the energy and knowledge which will allow the society to transform. So there is a book by Strugatsky, brothers Strugatsky, where they show that this new kind of people, they don't even have to fight. They create their own tribe which doesn't need anything. They exist basically pretty much without many material needs. They can sacrifice themselves easily. They don't hold on their lives, and they just carry the vibration and live in their own world, and they don't even have to learn anything physically. They don't have to speak to us, to the neurotypicals. They just how do I say, grow. The image of there was like more like a rainforest or the rainy some kind of plants which just grow without any additional support. So they just kind of sort of happen, and then they become the future. It was a bit sort of depressed outlook from neurotypical onto them, because they know already everything, so they're much smarter. They have all the needed information, and they have all this healing and telekinetic talents, so they don't actually need the technology, so they just take the natural path. So Blavatsky, I think I mentioned Blavatsky somewhere here. Let me switch to the screenshot. No, I don't have. So Blavatsky was 120 years ago, 137 years ago, she published The Secret Doctrine, and she predicted that the new root race will appear. And now it looks like that new race is actually coming, and it is autists. Yep.
Something to add. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So from my understandings with talks with my upstairs people, that from my understanding, the reason why we need those on the autistic spectrum and the neurodivergent spectrum, as they're now coming in, is because by being here and being grounded into the planet and its grids, just being on the planet, walking on the planet, the ley lines and grids which feed the rest of the population are pulling from them, from the autistic neurodivergent people, and it's starting to upgrade the old templates to allow new DNA upgrades for the rest of humanity that don't have those new templates.
Sounds great. Sounds right. So,
yep. So that's what I've been told from my upstairs peoples.
Nice nickname, upstairs people.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you have like an alien self? Alien person who is the same person?
I do. Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to share anything about them?
They, as far as I understand, well, I know where a lot of my selves are. So, like, to say alien, that's just one experience. But the one that people most would probably understand is I have a second self in Maya. On Maya.
Yay!
Yeah. So I don't know how much I don't know how much what else to say about that, but in the political spectrum on Maya, we'll just say that. But like I know that I have 4 other human selves here at the moment.
Wow.
One of them is in Paris. One of them is in France. I met another one via phone. It's really ironic. The other one. There's 2 more. I know about 3 of them. I know about 2 of them plus myself. That's 3. I just don't know about one of them. So, but I'm not allowed to get information. I'm not really, like, they don't want that stuff crossed. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
so,
there is short circuit. It would short circuit the plot.
Yes. So, like, I know about these things, but I just don't. I've learned that it's not really allowed to ask questions or delve too much in it, because I guess if I really wanted to, I could probably go pop over there for a look or whatever, but I don't,
I think with some filtering you can learn a little bit, but better not, I guess, not to mess up things.
Yeah, it's not that important to me. There's so many other things going on, especially like, even just here, let alone like in the other selves that are around. But I think this is the future of autistic people. Like, they'll know these things, and it's not that big of a deal to them, where you have other human people here now who are so excited to talk to ETs, and galactic people are so excited to like meet their teams and talk with them. But I think for autistic people who understand their part in the 3D human as well as their expanded parts, like it's just normal. So like it's not that big of a deal. You were born doing it, and then you maybe have to understand what exactly it is on a human level, but it just is. I don't know if that makes sense.
Where do we go from here? I guess I will just continue my presentation. It's good.
Okay.
It's yeah, we have a typical autistic conversation where, you know, we see the connection, but we don't have to vocalize it, right? All right. I continue. So I stopped, I think, maybe somewhere here, right? Okay. Done. Click. The images are wonderful, done by new version of ChatGPT. It's now, I mean, it's. I don't think if it's not that easy to make it do right images. You have to do magic, mentally merge with it. But once you merge mentally with it, and there is how do you call it, karmic need, then it would produce good images for which are actually good. All right, going next. Global network. Now the next thing about this non-speaking telepaths, that they can teach their teachers, caretakers, telepathy. And so more normal people, like verbal speaking people, almost neurotypicals, can be taught telepathy. They still have to be kind and have some channels open, but once they are taught telepathy, they can speak to autists, and they now teach parts of their classes in silence. They just have a discussion in silence, which is fascinating. And these are actual people which you can connect to them through the societies, how they say, through the team, which is, or community that works around Kai Dickens. So Kai Dickens here, telepathy tapes, and around here there is like community growing of telepaths and caretakers, and so now they connect together and they know about the heal. There is a lot of awakening there, so it becomes cool. So non-local phenomena, meaning that it goes through a magical way where the difference between two people disappears, and it goes from let me draw it. I think maybe I drew it later, but I will repeat it here. You go like one person. Actually, I need to take a picture from someone. Hold on. Finding a person here. One person, physical, gets some idea, goes into a special state where the difference between these two disappears. It becomes one. So special altered state. And then that person gets the message, so it goes here, I. And then he goes, disconnects, becomes physical, and message is pronounced physically or typed. So there is both physicality and non-physicality, oscillation between the two. Okay, go next. So normal people have some of the telepathy, and neurotypical, neurodivergent, meaning autistic and all the types of the spectrum. Should I mention? Yeah. So I guess autists can have genes from different alien races, and that would make them different. So it's not that autists are universal. There is a lot of Zeta gray hybrids which have common traits. There is a lot of Pleiadian hybrids, reptilian hybrids, draconian, Aryan, Syrian, not sure how many Syrian, and Arcturians, lots of Arcturians, and lots of others. So for Pleiadians, it's one set of traits, and I think when I talk about so yeah, mine are Pleiadians for sure. Mine are from another planet in Pleiades called Tara. So Maya and Tara, I think, are on the same star called Taygeta. So we are in neighboring planets. It's like Mars and Earth. So Tara and Maya are on the same star system. So I guess the Greys, they are less emotional. The Grey hybrids are more oriented towards knowledge, and all the Grey hybrids have that obsession with catastrophe of civilization. So they are like focused on preventing catastrophes, and also they are non-fighting and caring about babies. So love for babies, and they're on the more like autistic, how do you say, more like on a robotic autistic side. They are less, yeah, more automated, like they're more like machine-like, the Grey hybrids. And their posture is like more like, how do you say, collapsed. There is a collapse in the posture and a collapse in the energy. And Pleiadian ones are communal, and when you see Pleiadians, they're looking for their own commune because they're tribal, at least my tribe. So they're looking for the tribe, and when they're trying to find a tribe among Earth normal people, Earth neurotypicals, for us it's very strange that certain rules are violated, like no kindness, lying, and noise, and not caring about, no respect for children, hierarchy. So all of that is sort of very strange for us. But we are still communal. We are like autistic communal autists, but we are looking for our type of autists, not the human ones. Reptilians are interesting in they have usually great health, great warriors, great sports players, very athletic, very good regeneration, and they still love nature, like more like us. They actually like hierarchy and like secrets, and like how do you say, like civilized culture. And Draconians are especially into rituals and culture. A Draconian hybrid you can recognize by extreme narcissism and self-love, which is great because they have very thick skin, and it's impossible to offend them. So it's nice to have Draconians around because under stress they perform really nicely. Because they're always self-respecting, self-loving self. But, no buts. Okay, going to the next slide. Okay, DNA. So when you talk about DNA resonance and magical property of DNA's, DNA hologram, vibrational properties, you have to understand it's not DNA, not pure DNA. It's DNA inside the cells in a special state with a lot of proteins, a lot of water. So when we're talking about structure of DNA, there is a primary structure, essentially the sequence, and there is also secondary structure, which is actually in science it's called tertiary structure, trinary, tertiary, high-level structure when it folds. And it's the combination a combination of water structure, DNA, and proteins, where water is about 80%, DNA is 1%, and proteins about 19%. It's approximate, but that's so it's a very thick dancing jelly inside the cell, and you have to pay attention that it's when it's talk about trauma and everything else happening inside DNA, it's the dance of this jelly containing water and proteins. DNA is negatively charged and proteins are positively charged, so it's histone, so it's a dance of charges, electric charges. The DNA is very physical. There is about 300 grams of DNA in the adult body. So chromosomes are long molecules, about 10 centimeter long, 10 centimeter, all folded in the very tiny nucleus. The nucleus is about 5 micrometers. And the width of DNA is 2 nanometers. 1 meter divided by nanometer, 10 minus 9th, tiny. So the width of DNA is about 20 atoms. There are like this pyrimidine purine base pair and phosphates on outside. So it's very tiny, and that dance of chromosomes is essential because that's how the cell thinks. So the chromosomes are dancing all the time, and in live cell they always dance. And that dance of the chromosomes is the key to everything, to health and to thinking and to telepathic ability and to magical ability, to altered state, everything. Electromagnetic waves have huge connection to chromosomal dance because chromosomes are made of charged DNA and charged proteins and water, which is slightly charged. So when they dance, there is a dance of electromagnetic field as well, and there is a dance of subtle fields, astral fields as well. It's all connected together. Next, there is the understanding that DNA of the body creates a unified electromagnetic and subtle wave network. And this network goes through neurons. So inside the neuron there is a cell nucleus, and it contains DNA, and neurons are connected together with the branches called axons, and the connection points are called synapses. So psychoactive substances, including psychedelics, affect how synapses resonate and oscillate. So the connection goes through from DNA electromagnetically through light. Through light it goes do. Can I zoom in? Nope. I should be able to. There must be a way to zoom in. Something happened. It doesn't zoom in. Finally, I zoomed in. Anyway, I should learn how to zoom in. Now I go back. So, I got it. That's what happened. Okay. Sorry for the mess up. I got distracted, but I think it would be very interesting to zoom in and to show how the light goes right here. So there is a connection, and from the nucleus, the light goes gets to the synapse, which is a gap, like a gap between the neurons, and then it goes into the second neuron, and then goes into the nucleus, and they become connected into one telepathic network. Not telepathic, oscillating network, electromagnetic network. So this network is happening on the level of the body, and the collagen of the body creates these fibers which can work as fiber optic guides. So fiber optic guides, and also it's called fascia, the connective tissue which you it's pearl color around the muscles. It's special connective tissue which connects the special light waves and subtle waves. So the whole body is connected in one vibrational network, and DNA is part of that network. So inside the nucleus are chromosomes, and there is like microtubules wrap around the nucleus, collect the vibration, and transmit it to fascia network. And acupuncture meridians are essentially the way to connect to that network and tune it up. And the same thing happens with the neurons and synapse. That's my picture of the synapse. And psychedelic and other psychoactive substances, they tune the networks in such a way that it becomes coherent. The word coherence means harmonious. So if there is a harmony in that network, then we get into higher dimensional state and are capable of connecting to higher levels of consciousness, right? And but then we have to come back to the physicality. So that is only a temporary state, and that's very normal. During the sleep, we connect to the higher levels, and during the sleep, we harmonize, become coherent, and the whole DNA of the body with the whole network of connections become harmonized and coherent. And then there is a decoherence which happens through everything, through connection to other people and through culture, news, and even the infrared light that comes from everywhere. So by breathing the same air as other people, drinking the same water, eating the same food, bathing in the infrared light of the planet, of the surface, we become decoherent. So during the wake state, we become decoherent and disconnected, but during the sleep, we are coherent. And in dolphins, they have half of the brain sleeping and half of the brain awake, and allows them to be telepathic and awake at the same time. And we can practice the same, and that also explains what happens to the autistic telepaths. They also oscillate between telepathic state and normal state, like neurotypical state. And same relates to Alzheimer's people. They sort of, part of the time they are present here, part of the time they are elsewhere. Okay. So timeless properties of DNA. So DNA has both components. One of them is its small size makes it quantum properties, like there is a delocalization of protons and electrons inside the DNA, like on the small level, on the thickness level. But on the length level, it's 10 centimeters. It becomes macroscopic, huge, and it behaves like classical objects in the physical. So DNA is both physical and astral. And it works as an astral transformer or astral gate to the higher dimensions, because of that structure, its chemical structure of DNA. Lots of other molecules like microtubules, collagen, and others, they also have that property. But the unique quality of DNA is that it has a sequence, and the sequence is unique in each person. And that sequence is a signature which identifies you in that physical world and allows targeting, so that targeting happens. Telepathic targeting and astral targeting. Okay, targeting. So, like telepathic pairs, they talk to each other through their DNA. So from mind to their DNA, there they unite into one, and then to mind again, physical mind. And specificity is through unique vibrational signature of the DNA. We have about 99.9% of our DNA is common between all humans, but there is that 0.1% which is unique to a person, and that allows specific targeting. Okay. I think I can pause here. Any comments so far? Did I put you asleep? Everybody disappeared from my screen. Hey, anybody?
I'm here. I'm taking notes.
Oh, wow.
I like science.
Sure.
No, I think this is great.
You can
I
turn
was
on your
thinking
camera
about-
if you like.
Oh, you want me on camera? Okay. I was thinking though, like, with all this new research in water, water taking on thought or water having thought,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
that with the water in the human body and the water with the DNA, that this would be another reason that people should take this seriously. Like, I'm always programming my body and I'm always programming my water for it to help do the things I need my body to do, my human body to function. So what do you think about that? Do you think that the programming the water is able to help move things along in whatever you need, like healing or DNA things, or do you think that helps in any way?
Yes. I think about that for the last couple of years since I realized water is huge. And I actually come back to rediscovering that there is nothing new here. It has been around for a while, and all these natural remedies like Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, all tribal medicine, all natural medicine, all takes care of water. It's about the water structure in your body. It's that picture of chromosomes folding, essentially the trauma and education, they compact DNA in a special way. So we carry that from childhood. There is that compaction. Mm-hmm. And now when we want to go into altered state more fully, we need to decompact it back. But when we decompact it, we become bombarded with negativity, like empathic negativity. So we go back and forth, we sort of become open, heart open, and then we get lots of junk back into that new portal, and then we collapse again. So like several times a day, I feel like, why I'm so sad. I'm clearly sad. I'm tragically sad. So I have to close my gates, DNA gates, mm-hmm. and filter out stuff. So for me, the solution is one of the qualities of autists, verbal, non-verbal, is obsession, extreme focus on favorite projects, special projects. It's like our strong path. We like really can focus. And for me, that's special. And that Bashar also speaks about that. Focus on what is most interesting for you, most exciting. And that gives you coherence. So essentially, when you are vibrating for a long time on the same wavelength, like everything else is filtered out, you are focused on beautiful project. And right now, my project is understanding autists and what we are and who we are and what we are on a genetic level and what we are on vibrational level. So it looks like once you have this maniacal obsession with one topic that gives your whole water structure coherence, it becomes one body-wide coherent vibrational system, then you exist. It's inside out. Essentially what happens is there is outside influence and then there is inside out influence. And when it's outside in, it's contradictory with what's inside. When inside out, it's coherent. That's what I'm talking about. The draconian energy. They are so narcissistically loving that they're becoming. Actually, I have that image. I will show. Yeah, I think that's great. Let me show. The image is exactly showing the idea. It's somewhere around here. Just
Like
go ahead.
when you're for neurodivergence and those on the autism spectrum, when you're hyper focused on something, you're in this state of joy and creation, which contributes to flow and healing both for the inner and the outer. And so when the outer energy spheres are lined up with the inner energy spheres and the vibrations, then that's really important, because then that is massive, I don't know what the word is. Yeah, I don't know what the word is, but it's really important for the connection of all things, for you to heal and to combine both the outer and the inner.
Yeah, it's massive upgrade, massive awakening, massive Kundalini awakening, massive coherence expansion, reconnection, massive reconnection. So that image we created with ChatGPT, but I drew it first by hand, and it's just one of illustration of snake eating its tail, and that shows that there is nothing outside of universal consciousness. It's you inside, you out. You cannot disconnect from outside world, because outside world is also you.
Yeah, our logo for our business is actually part of our logo is the Ouroboros, because everything is connected, and bringing back the vibration with these old recipes, helping people heal, like it's all connected. It's all been there. It's just coming back full circle now.
Can you? What's your business name? Can I Google it?
Yeah, it's lbcchistorycalapothecary.com. Actually, no, it's www.lbcchistorycal.com. That's what it is. We just started a new website, so it'll give you, that link is for our website, and then you can go on to Etsy too, because that's where we originally.
I found it.
Yep, that's us.
Just a sec. I will bring it here. Just a sec. Should be here. Should be there. Come on, I need it fixed.
Lined up, kind of silly.
Just a sec. Finally, it's there. Okay. Okay, so actually lbcchistorycal.com. Cool. And then shop Etsy. What's apothecary?
Apothecary is like a historical place that you would go to get herbs and have them make medicines, salves. Sometimes they would have beauty products. It's kind of like what a Walgreens is today. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. So like, you could get inks and combs and salves and things. And
Um, but why historical?
because all of these recipes are all recipes from history. They all have their own.
Oh, historical recipes.
Yeah, like the lemon lip balm from 1896, or like we have a Hastings salve from from a Scottish grimoire that I had to translate from like the early 18th century.
Oh, so you're just
In 2 days, yeah.
did you Kaifi? Did you just rediscover Kaifi?
Oh yeah, I actually made some once.
Yeah, my favorite.
It was a really long process,
Yep.
so I didn't put it on the website to sell. I just use it for my own meditations and things like that. So
You can probably resell Kaifi. Kaifi is super cool. It makes me so happy. It's made of honey, frankincense, and raisins. It's a burning incense, and it's super
so good.
super nice. And every batch of coffee is different, so it really because it takes a long time. So every time and from every different person is different.
And R. Newman said, like a modern compounding pharmacy. It is. It's what we are is like a modern compounding pharmacy.
What is modern compounding?
A compounding is what you would do for like putting a recipe together, like a salve recipe or like a medicinal recipe. You know how like you would read a recipe to bake a cake? You would put all those things together in the recipe to bake the cake. That's what compounding is, like making the actual recipe.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yep.
So it's like, but now with the artificial intelligence, you might translate easier and find more specifically looking for that.
Yeah, I haven't really used artificial intelligence too much on our website though, on our .com website. I I implemented it to help people search for things, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
impressed by how smart it is. Like obviously I wrote the description, so it has a lot of history in the descriptions, but it's
Wow,
able to really pull that history and help customers, and I'm really happy with it so far. So
cool,
um yeah,
super cool.
that's what we do. And when COVID hit, Etsy had some issues with our medicinal things, so we kind of stopped reproducing medicinal things. But now that we have our own website,
Mm-hmm.
we can start reproducing more medicinal things again.
Wow,
Gotta
I
be
mean that's
careful with that.
huge.
Yeah. Yep.
Your warehouse must be huge, right?
We actually still work out of our house because I want to keep everything local as possible. There's just business wise, there's just a lot of extra things when you have to have another building. So our lowest level has been turned into an actual lab and like a warehouse shipping area. So it is pretty big, but like we are running out of space.
You're doing alchemy.
Yes, 100%. And then there are some recipes in there I call the Temple Beautiful section, where like my teams and guides and ET people have downloaded me recipes so to help people with things. So then I make those recipes and
Yeah, look at the recipes for non-functional autists to make them a little bit more functional. They don't have to give up all their talents, but just less suffering, I would say, to reduce their suffering.
tell me that one more time.
Like non-verbal autists, non-speaking.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there are some remedies that make them better, less sick. Because I mean, Earth is sickening some of the hybrids, so make them healthier.
Yes, because when they come to Earth, the density here, just for one specific thing, the density here is so heavy and so low. Like it takes a while just to acclimate, to get used to. Not that that's the only thing stopping the verbal, like, but yeah, there is a lot of. I actually have a friend whose child is nonverbal, and they're working with trying to get some answers.
Right. I don't know what the recipe.
This is how they darkened their eyebrows
Oh, really?
in the 18th century, yeah, with burnt cloves.
So the eyebrows smelled cloves.
And it kept away bugs, because bugs don't like
Wow.
burnt cloves. So
Yeah, I cook now with a lot of cloves.
cloves help deworm the body as well.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yep. But like, you don't, they have like astringent and numbing properties, so you so as far as like clove oil, you got to be kind of careful with that, or like chopping your cloves up. It gets really potent really fast, so you got to be
Wow. I believe that.
Oh, okay. So there's two questions from R. Newman. He says,
Okay.
Max, didn't Stuart Hameroff pose that consciousness depends on microtubules' physical properties? If so, how could consciousness exist outside our brains? And then the other question is, could you apply your therapeutic resonance technology to someone who wants to minimize some of their autism characteristics? It's in the chat.
Yep. So microtubules are right here. Actually, that's a bad image. Let me draw it from scratch. So there is a neuron. These are called axons. That's another neuron. That's called synapse. Synapse, a gap. And that's another neuron. And that's another nucleus. So the DNA sits right here, like chromosomes, right here. In water and proteins dancing all the time. Microtubules are connecting they go like that. They collect the light and bring it to here, and then transmit it to another nucleus with the DNA inside. So that system creates a dancing system around the whole body. And what's cool is that DNA it's dancing, but it has its own sequence, very, how do you call it, very fixed, very stable. 6 billion letters, so it's a program, electricity. So Hameroff focused mostly on microtubules, but microtubules is a part of a bigger network containing DNA and collagen and water and proteins in the whole body. So it's a fiber optic network. Huge part of it is microtubules, but not everything. And my claim is that microtubules work more like guides of information, and DNA is the key to actually thinking. And when the DNA folds and refolds, so the chromosome basically straightens or folds. Folding. It can fold. It actually folds mostly into bigger level helices. So it's like double strand folds into multiple bigger helices, and that folds in a helix. So that folding with the water is sequence specific. The sequence of DNA, which is stable, defines the crystallization pattern, liquid crystallization pattern. So when you have this constant refolding, recrystallization, restructuring, the structuring field, which is called morphic field, interacts with the way of its structuring, and that's the way their higher consciousness, astral consciousness, enters the mind and the body through controlling how things fold. It happens everywhere. It happens outside of the nucleus, between the cells, everywhere. So it's like everywhere. Here, here, here. But inside the nucleus there is that structure and sequence which is unique because it lives through the whole lifespan of the body and longer. So that is why DNA is better suited for connection to higher dimensions because it has a signature which is always there. And this signature, I demonstrated how the signature controls folding as well. So this folding also follows the DNA structure. The DNA sequence affects how things fold. Specifically, two double helixes, if they have similar sequence, they stick to each other very simply. So that's my discovery. Anyway, so things don't stop on a physical level. DNA and water and proteins is altogether called chromatin, or substance of chromosome, is dancing, and that dance is the gateway to the astral, to the morphic field. And then we constantly communicate back and forth. So no, if you turn off the communication, you get the Alzheimer's person in a stage where they forget anything, they can think straight, they sort of function, but they become robotic. And then once in a while, their higher mind reconnects to Alzheimer's person, and you can see that they become conscious and aware and stuff. So no, to be like actually like normal functioning human, even normal person, you need a higher dimensional connection. Without that, you become very robotic, very primitive. So no, the answer is that no, microtubules is cool, but it's only the gateway to DNA, and DNA is a gateway to higher dimensional consciousness, and only with that we become typical humans. And the second question is, can we use my technology to help? I have ideas. They're still in a very primitive stage. I kind of have very primitive prototypes. I don't even experiment on humans because I'm afraid to experiment on myself. It might hurt. If this is true, what I'm experimenting with, then it should hurt because powerful tools should be like have both strong positive and strong negative effects. So I don't want to experiment on myself, or I want to experiment on simple things like plants and simple organisms like worms. But that requires funding, and I need funding. So right now, all of my discoveries are done on computationally, and I'm waiting for funding to arrive, to appear, so I can actually do some experimental research on model organisms, because that thing you don't want to mess around with. You want it very safe. But yes, of course. I need a 3-minute break. Temple, can you like fill out the gap talking about anything?
Well, how long were you planning on running today?
I think I have another, so we started 2 hours ago, maybe half an hour.
Okay.
But I can leave sooner if you like.
Well, I'm going to have to head out. For us here in Central Time, it's about 12:44. So I'm going to have to head out a little before 1, so pretty soon. Is there anyone, I mean, I can talk if you give me a topic, I can talk. Yeah, but until you come back.
Let's talk about love and children.
Love and children. Okay. Does Margarita, do you want to pop in if you have anything, any comments or light language or anything?
No, I don't think so, because Max is a friend of mine, and this topic for me is very natural because I work a lot with the people who are, as you call, ET. I do have systemic constellations, but I came primarily to listen, and I'm heading to work in a few minutes.
Sure.
So Sorry, not today.
That's okay. I do want to say, like, going along with what Max is talking about, when I'm working with my teams and guides and upstairs people through telepathy, one of the exercises that has just been initiated with my best friend who passed in 2006 is where we him in spirit he in spirit sit across from me as we meditate and as we picture each other's energy or see each other's energy and see each other's like heart, even though he's in spiritual other world. We work on our breathing exercises, and part of our connection with telepathy, he says that it'll make the telepathy stronger, is to, like, if I breathe in, I bring it through my heart, I bring the breath through my heart, connect into his heart on his heart on his side, and then he breathes it in through me, so we're connecting through the heart. And he's saying that, or he has said in the past, that working with this type of connection will help the telepathy connection get stronger. So that is one of the exercises that I'm currently working on to try to test it out. So, well, Max is back now. So that was my discussion on the heart, I guess.
Yeah, one of the things is, again, the heart is the source of coherence.
Yeah.
It pulses, it gives it's like a orchestra conductor pulsing and giving you the whole body the pulse. And that allows playing the music. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I slept with a dog, with a puppy, and his heart was beating very fast, like, and I couldn't sleep because it was too fast. It was very energizing. Any more questions?
I don't think I have any at the moment. R. Newman, do you have any questions? You can type them and I can read them to Max in the chat. Temple, thank you for sharing your personal experiences and techniques. Any connection to primitive indigenous societies use of breath synchronization? Any connection to primitive indigenous societies' use of breath synchronization? I mean, we haven't personally talked, like me and my people haven't personally talked about that, but when we do telepathically communicate, or I'm automatic writing, we do talk a lot about past primitive indigenous societies. And so I just automatically assumed that these things that they are teaching me as far as breathing and connecting the heart are things that were done, you know, in these other earths that we've had millions and millions of years ago by these societies, but that it's just not, it's been forgotten. I've never actually specifically asked that, though, if that is, hopefully that makes sense, if that is what, where that actually came from or not. So I don't know if that answers your question.
The question was specifically about breath.
Let me read it one more time. Any connection to primitive indigenous societies and the use of breath synchronization or personal experiences and techniques? I was talking about the heart. I don't know how much you heard. I was talking about the heart. Like, so the one guide best friend that I have that was here on Earth for a while, passed away in like 2006, I think. He has been teaching me to, like, when we meditate or when I meditate, that he will come and sit his energy across from me, and then we'll connect through the heart. And he was telling me that that is one way to help strengthen telepathy between us. So I've been working on that. Well, not so much recently because I've been really overwhelmed and overstimulated, but when I have the energy to do it, I've been trying to do it with him. So
On yoga classes, like hatha yoga, we breathe to we are synchronizing our breathing to yoga instructor who tells us when to breathe in and out, and that is clearly breath synchronization. And a lot of yoga, hatha yoga exercises is to pay attention, and actually Buddhist exercises, pay attention to your breath and focus on the breath. So we have few beats in our bodies, like the heart and the breath, like two major things which breath is easier to focus on and it's slower, but heart is possible to focus on as well. And these two beats are so gamma brainwave is the one which is sleep and meditation brainwaves, and I think by focusing on the breath you can easier induce it. So I guess it's one of the tools which becomes kind of second nature to go in a special state. There is a lot of breathing techniques which allow you to switch from modern technological mindset to natural. Yeah. Like a deep breath or deep breath out.
And I found breathing techniques to be really helpful, just even throughout the day, to kind of help control my my brain, to get me back where I need to be when things are really overwhelming. Because if you can control your breath and you get it in a rhythmic state, not only will it help kind of control your inner energy, but it helps control your outer energy too, in my opinion. So it helps me calm down, and it's not necessarily even just like regular breaths. Sometimes it's like sounds with those breaths as well. So yeah. So, and with that, I think I need to head out.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much. It was very helpful, and let's do it again.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. So one of the meditations is to realize that you are not your body. You are driving your body, but your body is more like a car rather than yourself. You're driving your body, and also your physical mind is not the only mind of yours. So by aiming up, you're not separating yourself from the universal consciousness. You're actually reconnecting to yourself on the higher level. Right? Any more questions? Okay, I will go with the rest of the slides. There is like only a few ideas which I wanted to highlight. We already sort of went through them briefly, but I will just kind of point to them a little stronger. Okay, I think it's good. So, can you hear me? Can you see me? Yeah. So what we have is the universal consciousness pretending to be you, and the DNA stop working. Okay, and the DNA is a gateway between your physical body and the universal consciousness, which is also you. And DNA actually creates that experience of being separate. And through the DNA, you also can get the experience of being united with the universe and with others. So coherence is huge, and the pain from the society is huge as well. So combining this to being coherent and dealing with that pain from coming from outside is the key to to moving, I guess, towards telepathy, to developing telepathy. And it's in extraordinary. So what makes non-speaking autistic telepaths, what makes them so talented in telepathy is that they are honest to themselves and they don't have to fit in a strict rules, strict limitations of the society. So they are free and honest and kind. They are much more coherent inside. They have the whole, their DNA is less damaged by education and upbringing. They're like wild beasts, and the same thing with wild people. So non-speak autists and native aboriginal telepaths, they have in common that they're pretty much wild beasts. So undoing their upbringing and education, I think, is the key to telepathy. And that happens on level of unwrapping the DNA and recrystallizing it in a new way. So it's working on your DNA and the health. You can't become telepath without reprogramming your whole body, including DNA. So that's about certainty. So one of the societies, modern societies, demands is certainty, time pressure, quick decision making, obedience, and not making errors. So to become more natural, more wild, more universal, so to say, more integrated, you need to permit yourself to do lots of errors and to become much more spontaneous. It's, there are many ways, but that's one of the ways, I would say. So allow for your DNA and your ideas to create from inside out, create coherence, harmony. It's all about coherence and quantum entanglement. So when you are sort of moving the energy from inside out, it becomes quantum entangled and coherent. When there is a disruptive energy from outside, it breaks the quantum coherence. But if you block all the energies, then the things stop flowing. You have to be in the flow. So you have to allow energies, but when you have a single-minded mind, single idea, it sort of shines from inside. Oops. It shines from inside. I think that's picture. It shines from inside and makes it coherent. So it's not about the energy, it's about the ideas. Having a single kind idea which occupies you completely is the easiest way. Focusing on something, obsessing about something positive, protects and creates the coherence. Telepathic oscillation, you have to be in the world. It's not only being absent-minded. You have to go back into the world and back into yourself to be actually to achieve that perfection. It's evolutionary direction. We are moving there, so we're getting a lot of help, excluding the aliens and astral helpers. And also one analysis we did, I think we did it here, non-parental inheritance. I'll draw it. So essentially we take the DNA, so we take full families. We're like father, mother, child. Father is usually, how do you do it? Father is something like that, mother is something like that, and child. I don't know how they draw the child and the child. Anyway, so in classical genetics, the child gets the DNA 50% from one parent sequence, the variations 50% from another, and total there is about, I would say, 2-4 million variations in normal human, and they're usually 50-50. But if there is alien influence in a family, they mess genetically up. They insert some new sequences. So we analyze all those, not all of those, but a lot. We analyze about 1 million variations. It's now cheap, about a couple $100 to analyze. We use just saliva to analyze the DNA from a person. So we produce those. We take the families either from online databases or from volunteers and analyze, and we find insertions. So there is like a chromosome, we find insertions where a piece of DNA is inserted which doesn't belong to any of the parents. So that's what I'm saying. Like the parents must usually like there are families which have 100% parental DNA, but there is also non-parental inheritance. So you find families where the piece of DNA comes from neither of the parents. So we discovered that so far it's like 3 families that have that effect. To prove that it is real, we need lots more funding and actual work done, but we discovered it already. So non-parental inheritance. To prove that it comes from aliens, it's harder, but it's possible. But right now we just discovered that there is something, some insertions, and it's just not single mutation. It's in some cases it's like 7 mutations in a row, which come from neither of the parents, non-parental. Done. Next one, and the last one is vibrational ecology. We live in a time when it's became very easy to genetically manipulate stuff, and animals and plants are already heavily genetically manipulated, especially like agricultural animals, agricultural plants, and farm animals, lots of genetic modification. But now it comes to human, it's quite possible to do genetic modifications of humans, and we hear rumors that it's already been secretly done. In some countries it's outlawed, but in other countries it's wild, and whoever wants to do it, it's pretty doable for minimal amount of money. So humans already been genetically modified. Most likely there exists at least more than one human that is genetically modified. And these modifications have no idea what happens to vibrational side of DNA, because the molecular biology is all about chemistry. They have no clue. So once this genetic modification becomes widespread, there will be system-wide effects. Essentially, we are forming a unified network among humans, vibrational network, and the rest of the biosphere. So once the biosphere becomes genetically modified, there can be, we know for sure, we know from higher sources from upstairs that it's one of the dangers. So excessive genetic modification can collapse the whole structure. So to avoid that, we need vibrational ecology. We need to decipher how that happens and make sure the modifications don't mess up the vibrations. So vibrational ecology is huge. And you can find publications here. You can connect to me here, and and hucolo.org is here, so you can find us here as well. And that's the rest of the talk. all vocal people have left, and I have one guest. Thank you for staying with me. And I will do the final vibrational magic, and we'll close. And for that, I need my technology to be properly plugged in. Before I go, there is a question. Max, do you need the DNA samples from both living parents along with the child to do the research? Yes. That analysis specifically, we need all three samples. Absolutely. We can't really find non-parental inheritance unless we have both parents. If one believes, the question, if one believes there is evidence to support it is altering human genetics, what might be their reasons? Oh, the research starts with John Mack. And there is a lot, once you start digging for alien hybridization program and abduction experiences, there is a lot there. And if you just use traditional approaches to evidence-based research, you discover that people who have no connection, they didn't read stuff, there is like completely innocent, unexposed people who have no idea, they have very similar experiences. And sometimes people even are abducted together, so they meet each other on the ship. So there is a lot there. So that would be the one of the sources. But I discovered that non-parental inheritance is pretty inexpensive way to verify the insertions. And once we get enough material, we could also analyze alien skulls and alien samples, and also, like as I said, we can analyze insertions from autists having a similar property. So if we collect the say enough reptilian autists, gray and Pleiadian, we can demonstrate that similar insertions belong to the similar category, so that would be genetically detectable. So that requires many tens of samples, but it's not that expensive. It's doable. We can demonstrate that certain insertions comes from certain alien races just by that. All right. So now we close that again. All right, thank you very much. You know how to find us. Next seminar of that series would be about a month from now on Saturday. It's either 23rd or 30th May. Most likely, I think it's the fourth Saturday of the month, possibly. So May 23rd. You know how to find me. Just send me an email and you'll be invited by email. You can find my contacts on Max at hucolo.org. Just go to the site Hucolo and you will find us. Thank you very much. My last viewer, listener, thank you for being here. And thanks for thanks. All right, goodbye. Have a good day, everybody. I'm stopping the broadcast. How do I do